With the ongoing geopolitical instability, it makes us wonder, are we prepared for the future? And more importantly, do you have a plan B? Hi everyone, my name is Adifa and I lead the strategy department here at Nomad Capitalist, where we help high net worth individuals go where they're treated best. Today, a very important topic that we're going to talk about, how to build a solid plan B. A plan B is very different for each individual. It is a very subjective thing. For you, a plan B might be another passport, but for another person, plan B might be another bank account. So before we actually go into the process of creating the proper plan B, we need to firstly take a step back and think, what do we want to achieve? If your day-to-day life changed overnight, what would that backup ideal scenario be like for you? Would it be another citizenship? Would it be a backup structure of your current existing company? Would it be another bank account? Would it be a trust? Would it be just a residency permit? There are so many plan B scenarios that, for example, might not work for someone, but would work for you, which is why it's extremely important to go through your current setup and to see where that risk is that you need to have a plan B for. Current location and origin, where you're coming from, is a crucial part of a solid plan B. For example, a US person as a plan B might have another citizenship because eventually he might want to depart from the US, reduce the tax bill, and just give up the US passport. Although extreme, of course, a lot of people do that. With this, you cannot really be stateless. So you need to have another passport in order to renounce. And even though most US people are not open to renouncing now, it is in their mind for some time in the future, which brings us to, again, the solid plan B. You cannot renounce, you cannot reduce your tax bill through renunciation unless you have a plan B passport. This same plan B passport will be used for completely different purposes for a Canadian person, let's say. A Canadian person, if they want to reduce their tax bill, they do not have to renounce their Canadian citizenship. They can just move and go through the process of the tax non-residency. So the Plan B passport here, although quite beneficial, it is not going to serve the same purpose as what it would to a US person. While we are on the immigration topic, apart from passports, a very good Plan B is a residency permit. Again, very different of how this residency permit will benefit different individuals. So for example, for someone that is not yet ready to move from their home country, this additional residency permit might just be a flag that they have on an area in the world where they can move and they would have a home there. It's always available to them. But for someone who is open to moving more promptly, they can use that residency permit to go and qualify for maybe beneficial tax regime and reduce their tax bill from their home country. Moving on to more of a financial plan B, we have a few elements. You have a plan B in terms of a bank account, maybe a trust, foundation, company, and these are all very important pieces that could be pre-planned. And actually, it's way better to pre-plan them in advance in comparison to setting them up later on. So a company, for example, you can establish a company way ahead. You can have it as a backup plan B to your current business. That company maybe can be used as a holding entity. You can put some assets through the company. You can have a couple of bank accounts, maybe even have like term deposits. It would be a good company to have, just in case when you would like to restructure your business, you don't go from scratch and have to establish everything at that point. You already have something already established. Although a disclaimer here, if the setup of your entity or if the purpose of your business changes in the meantime, maybe that company that you've established earlier might not really match the current structure that you have when you want to change it. So it is important to reevaluate the new company at that time once again. Similar to companies, I believe a great piece to establish as a plan B is a trust. Now, with trusts, of course, even if you are not moving and even if you're not really restructuring your life, it is important to still have a trust established just for one, organizational purposes, and also to plan inheritance a bit better way ahead. With trusts, you can establish them without, of course, moving. They can be in a jurisdiction that aligns with the tax code of your current jurisdiction that you are now a tax resident of. And this particular trust can then hold all of the assets that you will invest in throughout the years. You can, of course, also move current assets to the trust and have already bought assets prior to the trust establishment be switched from you as a shareholder to the trust as a shareholder. But again, it is crucial to have something like this for later on. Probably one of the most important parts of diversification that you can set up ahead is different bank accounts. As we know, the banks and their requirements change all of the time, and it is important to have variety. It is important to have bank accounts not only onshore in the country where you live in, but also to have options offshore as well, to have a couple of bank accounts in locations that maybe you do not frequent, but they're just good locations to bank in. They have good customer service, they maybe have good interest rates for term deposits, they have good investment options and good investment portfolio. So overall, it is important to diversify into more bank accounts. A suggestion for redundancy purposes is to have an additional 2 bank accounts outside of the place that you live in. One more of a transactional nature, so you can use when you travel, more of an international accepted bank account with maybe a good debit or credit card. And then apart from that, one account that has better investment options. So you can use either it being for wealth management, where you put a higher amount of money and invest it through the bank's portfolio, or even a smaller amount of money and do some small investment, again, through the bank's portfolio. You can find some banks that have good term deposits and their interest rates are higher, so it could be a good passive income that you can receive with just an additional bank account. As you can see, a plan B is very subjective and it is different from individual to individual. This is why we provide this service here at Nomad Capitalist. We go through a process called the plan creation process, where we put together a tailored plan that actually accomplishes your goals and gives you that plan B that is specific to you. So if you're interested, you can apply at nomadcapitalist.com/apply. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. My name is Sadifa Dastani Mehmet, and I'll see you in the next video.